All right, so let's pretend I'm walking into Dr. Chris's office.
Just
All right.
relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Make yourself comfortable. What's on your mind, Pat?
I got big bait envy.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I have no
Yeah,
problem with the
felt a
micro.
little tingle.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I felt a little tingle down
Yeah.
there.
I got big bait envy. I mean, I don't have problems with the micro baits. I mean, those are easy to use. Easy. The average size baits are what I'm accustomed to. You know, I mean that's what I'm throwing most of the times. But you know, I'm talking about the BBC. You know, the big bait concept.
Yeah.
And you seem to have no problem with it whatsoever. Throwing that swim bait, dude. Now help me out. Get me over my fears.
Oh, well, first of all, not everyone could. It's not for everyone.
Okay.
Not for everyone. It starts with preparation from all the shit. Said don't go there. I love throwing big swim baits. It's a way to offer the species of fish we're targeting, big largemouth bass. Throwing a big bait is just, it's so, and although it's been around 10 years, 10 plus years, it's still new to a lot of these fisheries we go to, the swim bait. So when you throw the swim bait, you're going out there for 6, maybe 7 bites. So it starts right there. It starts right in your head.
That's
right
tough.
Not going to get a lot of bites on it. Boom. I mean, this is not something you want to throw on the score track, when you're trying to rack up a score tracker somewhere. This is, I'm going to go out. I may not get a bite till 10 a.m., but from 10 to 2, it's game on. And if I get 5 of those 7 bites in the boat, I'm going to come in with 21-12, and I'm going to have the biggest sack of the Bassmaster Classic. So it immediately starts with the mentality. And growing up in Northern California, it was a simple rule. Basically the bigger the bait, the flatter the bill of the hat, and long rod, the bigger the line. And it's in a simple form, big bait fishing in a tournament is, if I had one word to describe it, it's angles. And how you position your boat to start, and what angle you make that cast and reel a swim bait back to the boat.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that is it. And to add a little bit more color to that, most of the time you're fishing a swim bait uphill. So instead of fishing that row of docks on Lake Guntersville, or fishing that row of docks on any of the lakes up north there, where the guy has got his bass boat in the middle of the channel, fishing down, casting towards the bank, fishing alongside that dock, and reeling in back towards the middle of the lake. I like taking that larger than normal bait. A, it's larger than normal, and B, I'm going to throw it in a direction that these fish aren't used to seeing. So instead of taking the easy way and trolling down the center of that creek channel and casting to those docks, pulling it out, I'm going to snake my boat towards the bank and fish my swim bait out towards the middle of the lake, cast it out towards the middle of the lake, and swim that swim bait uphill alongside that dock. So again, A, it's a larger than normal bait, and B, it's coming from a different direction that they're used to seeing. So whenever I go to these highly pressured Guntersvilles and Knoxville, Fort Loudons and all these high pressured lakes, and I introduce that swim bait mixed with angles, I feel like mentally I'm already ahead of the competition there. So, but from the ground, there's a lot that goes on with mechanics of swim bait fishing, but I highly encourage you, if you're serious about swim bait fishing or want to learn swim bait fishing, you go out in your boat, your kick boat like I used to do,
Sure.
your float tube, your kayak, or your pair of shoes that you walk down the banks with, and only bring one rod, and that's a swim bait rod. And back then when I was learning it, back in the early 2000s, it was a flipping stick. Grab your flipping stick, 20-pound test fluorocarbon, 20-pound test mono. It doesn't matter. And bring one rod and one bait. And pick your big giant swim bait. Pick your favorite one. the 6-inch versions get a lot of bites during in tournaments. I love an 8-inch version. I'll get 3 or 4 bites on an 8-inch version, at any given day, or even a 10 or 12-inch version where I'll get 1 bite in a week. But it's going to be 12 to pounder. But I highly encourage you to go out there with 1 rod, maybe 2 or 3 baits, but 1 rod, and force yourself to learn that swim bait and get that electrical bite, and when you get that single bite, oh man, it's because that angle and how close I had it to the bottom. And what's really cool swim bait fishing is man, it's not like, oh, was that like a jig or a worm? Is that a bite? Maybe I'll check it. And it's like, dude, oh yeah, that was a bite. Every time. And it's like, I want more, man. Give me more.
Well, thanks, Doc. I think you helped me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm over my fear of I don't have big bait envy anymore.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm content with my average baits, but willing.
Too. I mean, average, that wins too. I mean, average is cool.
Well, thanks. I don't get complaints. I still perform well with average size baits.
It's the way you use it, Pat.
Yeah.
It's the way you use it.
If you know where to put it, I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been fishing a long time, I mean, I'm not going to kid you. I'm 50 years old, bud. You know what I mean? Might not act like it, but I am.
Put your bait in a lot of spots.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh.
Hey, let's get to know Chris Zaldain a little better.
Sure.
Okay, let's well, now it's a little role reversal here. We're both now we're sitting in the doctor's office together.
Okay.
Chris, what the hell are you doing here?
Oh, I got some issues working through. Man, last fall we were going through some things, and I've got some serious abandonment issues. It's getting better. But man, I feel abandoned.
Well, shit, we're at the psychologist. I think I'm at the wrong doctor. Damn. Okay.
Well, I'm healthy as a horse there.
Hey, so let's do a little few question and answer. Since we're here together in the waiting room. All right, let's get to know Chris a little better. What do you say, Chris? Grass, laydowns, ledges, or deep brush? What's your poison? What do you choose?
Dude, laydowns, man.
Laydowns.
And here's why. Out in California, I read the Bassmaster magazine growing up all through there, and I'd always see, like, on the front page or in the articles, and guys talk about laydowns and standing timber, and we don't have any of that in California.
Okay.
We hardly have that. So I fished the grass on Clear Lake in the Delta, and I fished some of those rocky ledges out there on Clear Lake, and laydowns. And I say that because when I'm going down the bank, and most of the time, especially this year, I've had a swim bait in my hand, and I see that single laydown and the wind's blowing in it just right, and there's a little bit of current going on there, and there's like one little fork in it where I could place my swim bait right in the middle of that fork, let it fall out right in that shade line, and when that fish bites it, oh my gosh, it's a big one, because it is one single laydown, and every little organism that lives around that single laydown, from the zooplankton to the tiny bait fish like your bluegills, and there's crawdads that swim around in there. The bass that pulls up to that laydown owns all of it.
That's his deal. That's his little hotel.
Whole laydown, that big 5, 6, 7, 8 pounder owns all of that. That is her house. And when you throw a bait in there that big, she is going to let that bait know who owns that.
I love it. So I had to pick laydowns too. That is definitely my favorite. A Zaldain family home remedy. A Zaldain family home remedy.
Oh man, here. You don't have any. Just rub a little dirt in it.
Rub a little dirt in it.
Dirt in it.